Hello and namaste. My name is Tim Halloran and this is a weekly astrology forecast. Today is March 20th, 2014. The moon is in Scorpio. On Friday she enters Sagittarius. On Sunday she moves into Capricorn. And happening right now, the sun is on the Pisces-Aries cusp. The sun is moving from Pisces into Aries. This is the Spring Equinox. This is the real beginning of the new year of 2014. And 2014 is the year of new beginnings, of initiations, of changes, of starting from scratch in many respects, of starting anew, of new directions, of newfound truths. You know, this is what's going on right now. So this video is going to be much more of a heart-to-heart rather than the technical discussion of astrological aspects, because I'm going to be talking to you more about the entire year of 2014 and what's happening on a much deeper, vaster scale. So in between the winter solstice and the spring equinox is sort of that awkward in-between time of life and death. You know, the winter solstice is in many ways the death of the old year of 2013, and it's not till spring that is the real birth of 2014. So in between we sort of have this awkward birth and death phase, and you know, if we're sensitive enough, we can really be feeling this the last few months. We can feel all of the stuff shifting around and changing on a really, really deep subconscious level. But it's not until spring now that we start to see it and it becomes apparent. You know, it's like the seed is there, and then the winter solstice, you know, it starts to climb up through the ground. And now in spring, the creeper pokes its head from the earth's surface, and we see the fruit of our labor, what work is paying off. You know, we see the payoff, we see the new way. We've been feeling it internally, we've been feeling the shifting around, and it has not been comfortable because we haven't seen anything yet. And so this time is the time period when we start to see it. Next week we got a new moon in Aries, and then the month of April there's a full moon in Libra, and there's a grand kite between Mars, Uranus, Pluto, and Jupiter. We're going to be seeing a lot of changes, and it's going to be happening at a very fast pace. You know? So, there's some very big shifts that I think are happening beneath the surface. And you know, I want to talk about these different spiritual platforms, let's call them, on the road to pure unconditional love, which is the end and all goal. You know? It's even beyond enlightenment. It is inconceivable. It is the end and all goal is love. Unconditional love. You're not just at peace with yourself. You're not just happy and satisfied. You have unconditional love. Who has unconditional love? We're working on it. We're working on it. But there's all these different levels. Okay? And the first phase I like to call the honeymoon phase. And all of these levels, by the way, depend on one thing. The movement through them, the progression through them, the rate at which we move through them depends on one thing, and that is our desire to move forward. Our desire for unconditional love determines whether or not we receive it, of course. Most people don't want it. You can't blame them. It's a very, very immense and huge and inconceivably almost burdensome seeming thing. But we begin with the honeymoon phase, and that's where we call out, we desire this love, and we get a response. God knocks on our door and we get the honeymoon foods. We get a taste. We understand, oh, this is what enlightenment is like. This is what love is like. This is what spirituality is like. And many people would like it to end there, but it does not. Because the next phase is the beginning of purification. If we want unconditional love, if we want a pure heart, if we want oneness with God, they're all the same. We have to be purified. We have to, and this is not saying that we're bad or we're damned or we're dirty, sort of. It's saying that we have unfinished business, we have, you know, loose ends, misunderstandings, you know, unconcluded dramas. This is what karma is. It's not so life and death, black and white, you're good or bad, you're going to heaven or hell forever. It is, there is unfinished business here, and you came here to do this work, so you can't just leave it partially done. You know what your mission is, deep down. And this is what we're here to do. And for many of us, this is the period of initiation into this deep down work that we are doing right now. And we're going to do this work, and we're not fearing the work itself. That's what we came here to do. We didn't come here for an easy exit. Easy exit is not a part of this spiritual understanding I'm now speaking of. So God comes to your door on the honeymoon phase, and he asks you a question. Do you love me? And of course, we'd all like to say yes, and so we do. Yes, I love you. I just want to serve you. I just want to be your disciple, devotee, associate, representative. I want to speak your will on earth. I want to spread love and healing. And he says, good. Do that, and then he walks away. You see, you can't have faith unless it's been properly tested. You can't know your love and your heart and your strength, your spiritual strength, without it having properly tested. And this is the purification stage as well. The purification stage is what determines who is a real spiritual aspirant. Because many people veer off. They don't want that. It becomes hopeless and they give up. And it was just a sham all along. I thought I was going to be in perfect happiness all the time. And it went away after a while. Because this is what the heart does. The heart goes away. The heart is union and separation. And many of us have been feeling and submerged in and being driven mad by separation for a long time. And, for many people, basically there's one of two ways this new initiation, this new beginning can take place. Many people are initiating the purification stage. And many people are initiating the fact that they've been in the purification stage. Some people have been just told by everybody their entire life that they're wrong, that they're crazy, that they're overly emotional, that they complain so much. Why can't you just be happy? Because there has been burning truth and desire and unfinished business within. And unsatisfaction. Well, we're not done. There's stuff that's not right here. It doesn't sit right with me, and I can't express it. And I'm going to be very direct towards these people now that I'm speaking to. You are the ones that you've been looking, you've been trying to figure yourself out because it has not been comfortable. You've been sitting in discomfort, you've been sitting in hell, and you've been just trying to work through it and figure it all out. And so we've done our searching, we've done our truth looking. We've joined all these different spiritual groups. We've tried all these different religions. And you know what? People didn't necessarily help us out. We could have joined these groups and people were just like, why are you complaining so much? Why are you worrying? Stop being such a Debbie Downer. You read the Bible. You're going to heaven after you die. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're all one with God, man. Don't worry about it. All is God, all is one. You're stressing too much. Just enjoy life. Why aren't you just enjoying life? Why aren't you just enjoying life? Gee, I don't know. Maybe it's because there's a whole lot of stuff happening here that the majority of people don't get yet. Maybe there's a lot of stuff going on right now that people aren't willing to look at or accept. And you're one of those few people that are. And this is the whole point right now. For some people, they have not gotten help, and then they've just not gotten help, and they've reached out and no one's been able to help them. No one's understood you. No one's understood your core truth, and you don't even understand your core truth maybe. You've been digging deeply, you've been looking inside, you've been trying to figure it out, but people just don't get it. When you start to talk about the things that you really want to talk about, when you start discussing and opening up about the things that are your core truths that are super important to you, that is, your heart is breaking because you just want to speak these things and everybody doesn't want to speak about it. Nobody wants to go there. You know who I'm talking to. You know who you are if you're one of these people. And the reason I'm making it so direct to you is because it is now your time to lead. There is a reason why nobody's been able to do it for you. I'm sorry to say it. The reason why nobody can do it for you is because you have to do it yourself. You're one of those few people. You're one of those few people that bit off a big chunk. You came here to show what you do know, and no one's going to believe it until you start doing it yourself. And so there is a big release for many, a new beginning, which is a cutting the patterns of the past. My parents didn't understand it. My friends didn't understand it. My previous relationships didn't understand it. Nobody understood it. I became a hermit. I became hurt. Or I just sheltered myself and just acted like I was okay. It's now time to come out of hiding. It's now time to speak up. It's now time to lead. Because guess what? The majority of leaders, spiritual, not spiritual, teachers, politicians, they think they know what they're talking about, but they don't. And so many of the people that do know, because they've been constantly getting put down by everybody else and misunderstood by everybody else, they think they don't know when they do. So 2014 is in many ways a changing of the guard, because a lot of people are going to be realizing, oh, I thought I had the cat in the bag. I went through the honeymoon phase. I read this secret, and my life was just completely different from then on. Haven't you read The Secret? You just need to read The Secret, and then everything's fine. You can manifest whatever you want. It's great. Well, that's wrong. That's wrong. Reading The Secret is not the answer to life. The one little thing that changed everything and made everything better without doing any work hardly at all. We just thought it, or we heard a lecture, or we found a teacher. And, it's more than that. You know why? It's about your heart. It has to be your heart. It does not matter what religion, what book, what clothes you're wearing, what markings you put on yourself, what philosophy you take to. It does not matter what you preach. It does not matter the words you say, the thoughts you think, the mantras that you utter, the specific spiritual practices, the type of yoga. None of that matters. That is not what it is all about in the end. It is about your heart. Your heart is how you know that you know the truth. It is between you and your heart. It is between you and God. You know in your heart if you know, because it tells you. It tells you. The books and the teachers and the spiritual practices are mechanisms to get in touch with your heart. If they are not getting in touch with your heart, if it is some kind of psychic, energy work, whatever, manipulation, it does not matter. If it does not involve the heart, it is not really spiritual. Watch out. Watch out. This is a year of learning about these things very tangibly. So we best, anticipate these things ahead of time. Again, this is not about making anybody feel bad, or good or bad, black and white. But this is the end of misinformation. We need truth. We need truth. In 2014, a lot of truth is coming. April is going to be very fast-paced. There's going to be a lot of transformation. There's going to be a lot of information and truth coming. And the truth will be shocking to people. And the truth may bring some people down into, oh my gosh, the truth is I have more to go. And for other people, the truth is, oh my gosh, I've been working. I thought that I was, just, whatever. I thought that I was hurting everybody else all the time by being miserable, but the truth was I was holding it down for those people because I knew in my heart that they were all suffering and pretending that they weren't, You go and you sit with your friends and all they talk about is movies and video games, and you're just sitting there and you're just feeling the darkness. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's willing to go there but you. That is why it is your turn to lead now. That is why it is your turn to speak up. Because those people are going to be looking to you now. They're going to be looking to you for help now. They're just like, oh my gosh, there is something going on here. There's skeletons in the closet. I feel scared now, It's not their fault. It's not our fault. We all go through this process. And it doesn't have to do with who's ahead of the other. You understand that not everybody can be up and not everybody can be down at the same time. Because then the world would go crazy, right? If everyone's down at the same time, the world would be crazy. So we can say, oh yeah, this, astrologically this period of time is going to be heavy. But it's not heavy for everybody the same way. So we do a dance. It's all about dancing here. It's not about first and last. There's no race here. There's no race to enlightenment. That is not spirituality. This is love. This is love. This is not a game. This is not a game. The game is what you make of it. This is not a game. Okay? This is deeper than a game. A game is something that you play, and I'm not saying we're not playing and we're not enjoying, but it's not just a game. You understand? We have to do both sides of the coin. We have to play and enjoy the game, and we have to do the work. We have to open our hearts. Real love, real ecstatic bliss that comes through inner knowing, through the heart, is this both sides of the coin. Not either or. You're not just feeling good all the time. No, wrong. not spirituality, not fullness, not depth, not reality, not God, not love. No, sorry. Comfort, not love. No. You have to understand what we're getting involved in right now, what we're doing, why we came here. You didn't come here for a vacation. That is not why you come here. Okay? If you want to enjoy your vacation later, we might as well get the job done that we originally came here to do. And you do know what your work is deep down. It is inherent in everybody. It is a burning desire inside of everybody. And we have to sort of clean some stuff off to see that burning desire and be just like, oh, okay, whoa, I'm not kidding. I am a spiritual being. I am not just playing around. I am here doing serious work. I am a light worker. That means working. That means going into darkness and seeing the suffering of this world and repairing it and doing the work ourselves. You know, yes, we are being light ourselves. We are holding the space of love ourselves. But that's not the same as being happy and comfort and, oh, it's going to blow over later. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Do you understand how that is the opposite of light work? Saying, oh, yeah, don't worry. You're going to go to heaven after you die because you were baptized. You know, don't worry. Don't worry. Look at your clothes. You're a spiritual person. Don't worry. Yeah, you got a mantra. You have a guru. Don't worry. You're saved. Yes, that is true on one hand, and we know that in the core of our hearts while we're doing our spiritual work, but we don't do that stuff to avoid the situation, to avoid the reality, to avoid the messiness that is going to make itself very apparent, which is why the leaders that are coming up right now are going to be coming up right now, because when the messiness becomes apparent, guess what? It's not going to be a surprise to those people who have saw it all along. Nope, that is your time to come to power. And once again, do not fear power. Especially the people that fear power the most are the ones that need to embrace it. The people that are addicted to power, that's different. People tend to fear power. The ones that have really big hearts tend to fear power because they have many experiences of being abused by power and they don't want to become the abuser, which is why you're not going to become the abuser, you understand? If you're afraid of that, that's your guarantee that it's not going to happen. That is your initiation. This is a time of self-initiation because we're looking into our hearts and we're seeing what's going on there right now. Yeah. And when your heart breaks, that is an initiation. When your heart breaks because you see your family and your friends suffering, that is a self-initiation because that is self-initiation into compassion. I care about those people because my heart breaks for them. That means it is time to lead. It is time to go to them and tell them, my heart is breaking for you. You are suffering, and I want to help you. You know, I'm not going to just sit quietly and just nod my head, you know, and also with you, and also with you, you know, just repeating the lines. No, we're going to be real. We're going to be honest on both sides of the coin, you know. You know, it's maybe we've said some things, maybe we jumped the gun a little bit, and that's okay, you know. It's just about being sincere. It's about saying, well, I jumped the gun, you know. I thought that all I had to do was this, this, and this, you know, become vegetarian, you know, do this meditation for so many hours a day, and then do that. And then I would be there automatically, like it's all done. And I was wrong. Because it's, you know, it's not saying that I shouldn't be doing those things, but the reason I am doing those things is to purify myself, to start clearing up my own karma, which involves a drama, which is interconnected to other people. It is interconnected to my parents, to their parents, to my aunts and uncles, to my children, to my friends, to my geographical location. All of these things are tied into my karma, are tied into the work that I intentionally took when I came here. When I decided I was going to incarnate in this body, I wanted to clear these things up. That is why you do the meditation. Yes, and the breathing and the yoga and all those things are great, but know why you're doing them. You're doing them because you want to clear up the stuff within yourself, which is the same as clearing up for other people. Your heart breaks because it is connected to those around you and you see and feel them suffering, and that breaks your heart. It is a self-initiation into not allowing them, the old patterns, the old hierarchy, the old system to continue doing its patterns of enslavement. It has happened again and again and again and again. And how many times are we going to allow ourselves now, because it's up to us, to become enslaved? We don't have to. We don't have to. We don't have to take other people's BS. We don't have to take other people's misunderstanding and misleading and run with it and be just like, oh, well, spirituality is about being nice all the time, so I'm just going to let that blind person lead the huge crowd off the cliff. No. Push them out of the way, take their place, turn them around. This is your initiation. This is your time to speak up for your spiritual truth, to let your heart break for what you know you want the most, which is for other people, not just yourself. Not just your own sanctity and your own happiness and your own enjoying. These things come naturally when you start falling into your real spiritual work, but focus on your spiritual work. Focus on what you're really here to do. What are you really here to do? Why did you get that job? Is it for you, or are you still operating out of the subconscious patterns of pleasing your parents? You know? Why are you doing this hard labor? Are you doing this hard labor because it's what you really want to do, or is it because you believe that you need to earn more money because Disney World's the only thing that's going to make your family happy and love you? Because the truth is this. The more that we allow ourselves to fall in the back and we allow misunderstanding to perpetuate without us taking charge ourselves and doing it for them, you have to take charge a little bit. You have to become involved. And it is not easy, and it is somewhat risky. You have to know what you're doing. You do have to know what you're doing. So allow the self-initiation to come. Journey into your heart and find this core burning desire and this truth that speaks to you and says at the core of your being, it is okay, my child. You know what you're doing. You know what you're here to do. You have my permission to do it. No, it's not coming through the words of your it's not coming through the lips of your parents or your friends or your teachers in high school. It's coming from this guy. Follow it. Be dedicated to it. Listen to nothing else. You're guaranteed success all the way home in that light. So this is a pretty passionate time, as you can feel, as you can hear. So let's be ready for it. Let's embrace it. This is great stuff. We need this. We want this so, so badly. So don't be afraid, you know. Whether we're going up and down, you have to understand this is the path of love. The path of love is up and down. So if you're going up or down, it's not doing the wrong thing. It's doing the right thing. It is advancing forward. It is the next stage of your development, and there are going to be more stages after it. So get ready. Do not expect everything to remain the same. Never expect anything to remain the same. Anticipate the changes. Anticipate your world to get a little rocked, and for that little bit of rocking to reveal, and stuff will be floating to the surface that ultimately is for your ultimate good. So even when it seems scary, even when it seems unfair, even when it seems like trickery, it's because we've been misled. But what is coming now is the truth. We're getting back on course right now. So don't be afraid. Don't be shaken. And stick to your truth. Know who you are deep down. You do know who you are deep down, and nobody else does but you. So trust it. Initiate yourself. And let's get to work. Let's start, building these new communities that's in the months to come, in the year to come. The new beginning, the new initiation, the new paradigm. So, wishing you the very best on your journeys. We're doing it together. We're on a family. Let's stick to each other, reflect these things off of each other. Let's reaffirm to each other our own truths. That way we can find the new leadership, the new rules, the new understandings, the new religion, the new one religion, the one religion that is life. So much love to you and your beloveds. Namaste.